Hello, if you've seen my recent short, then this will be the longer version of that. Today we're going to talk a little bit about Apple's accessibility suite and why, despite the high price tag that can come with Apple, I tend to definitely be a proponent of their accessibility features overall, and the top one of those is VoiceOver. If you've seen my short, you've seen my intro.
VoiceOver on, settings, accessibility, back button.
Is Apple's built-in screen reader, and it's going to, well, as the name implies, read the screen. And that comes with everything from reading text
VoiceOver,
elements,
switch button, on.
buttons,
VoiceOver 6 items on the screen.
helping me to navigate the internet, including YouTube, Facebook, and other social media sites, as well as browsing the web, and things like that.
Accessibility, back.
So we'll turn VoiceOver
VoiceOver
off. I have the accessibility shortcut, which we'll talk about in a moment, set to triple tapping the power button. So next up is Apple's Zoom feature. This I find incredibly useful when I do need to use my vision for something. There's a setting, by the way, down here called Show While Mirroring that I recommend turning off. It's just the only way that Zoom is going to be visible during a screen recording, because it can tend to make people motion sick. So I will try to keep movements brief and a little bit slower if I can. So I'm going to double tap with 3 fingers, and on the second tap, I'm actually holding the screen and zooming in just a little bit. I can then take that same 3-finger gesture and move it around the screen, and I will slowly zoom in. Let's say I wanted to read this text here. I can zoom in on it and read. I really fly around with Zoom. I just don't want to make people ill, so I won't demonstrate beyond this. We'll go ahead and zoom out. There we go. My cat has decided to join me, so you may hear him in this video as well. Display and text size. Now, this is something that I have messed with a little bit here and there, including things like turning on bold text. I actually don't have the large text on because I find it sometimes takes up a lot of screen real estate. Button shapes doesn't really bother me much. On and off labels. Apple has done a really good job of differentiating both with, for me, the color. So green means on, gray means off. And then the right side of the button being lit up white is on and the left side is off. So there's enough visual differentiation for me to tell the difference. We have reducing transparency. I have that turned on because sometimes things can be a little bit tough contrast-wise without turning on some of these things, and kind of goes right to the next one. Increase contrast. I have that turned on for my device as well. I just find it helpful when I do need to use the vision I have. Differentiate without color. I don't need to do that. I don't have color blindness, so it doesn't bother me there. Prefer horizontal text. No, that would drive me insane. And then what is this one? Smart invert. I could try that more because I use dark mode, and that's something we'll talk about in a moment. I'm a big proponent of dark mode just for my vision and the way that contrast is most helpful for me. And there are so many different options for overall color filters that you can apply. I'm not messing with any of that, but it's there if you need or want it. Reduce the white point. So there's lots of ways that you can visually customize, and I missed one on the bottom here. I apologize. Auto brightness, which I hate. I keep my phone pretty bright. My students make fun of me all the time because they're like, you're gonna kill your battery. And I'm like, yeah, probably. Worth it. So motion, I don't have much in some of these categories, but we can pop into it so that you can take a look. Reduce motion is going to kind of minimize the animations. I think there's some tooltips here. I don't have VoiceOver on for your benefit. I know some people really don't like when there's two people like talking at once, that sort of thing. There's like dim flashing lights if you were to be epileptic. Autoplay animated images, autoplay video previews, so autoplay message effects, all of those types of things you can turn on or off to your heart's content. prefer non-blinking cursor. I can't find the cursor if it's not blinking sometimes, so not a big fan of that. Spoken content. So there are so many different things. Speak selection. I use this primarily actually on my Mac, where I can highlight groups of text and have it read aloud to me. I don't find that feature as useful on the iPhone because I primarily use VoiceOver. So, up next, audio descriptions. Now, technically, I have audio descriptions turned on. I have never in my life seen a feature on this phone where audio descriptions have worked. I don't know if you or anybody may know where those are useful, if that has to be something that's baked into the Apple ecosystem. It doesn't work on things like YouTube, where if I pull up a movie, it doesn't just start randomly describing it. So I have no idea what that feature is supposed to do. I have it turned on, but I've never seen any use for it. Now, Apple has so many different categories for accessibility, and vision, obviously, per the name of this channel, is the one that has gotten the most mileage out of me. These other sections I will do a little run through of and talk about to the degree that I know about them, which, again, is not much. So, when we talk about physical and motor, there are so many different things that Apple has allowed for. So there is assistive touch, which can help with kind of letting you assign different, let's say you have limited mobility, it can let you assign different gestures and actions to do different things. Reachability drives me insane. I'm actually going to turn that off. I have a snake game I've been playing on my phone recently, and reachability keeps killing my snake. So I didn't know you could turn that off. Haptic touch, which is super cool. Those are things. Touch combinations. These are things that if you have a need for them, I encourage you to look into it because I don't really know much. Tap to wake can be useful, absolutely. Shake to undo, I have that on because sometimes I can't find where each app stores their undo button. So if you just shake the phone while you're typing, it'll go, hey, do you wanna? I just shook my phone, but that wasn't even doing anything. Vibration for touch, which is cool. Prevent lock to end call. I should turn that on probably because I've hung up on people before. Oops. Call audio routing automatic. So you could, every time, if you really wanted to, you could have it go to a Bluetooth headset, the speaker of your phone, and then auto answer calls you could have off, but I think you can turn that on in different situations. So you can kind of choose the time. So if you can't answer the call, you could turn that on if you're not fast enough to figure that all out. So that's really cool. I dig that. What else is hiding down here? Back tap. Oh, I've tried to use this before. So essentially what it does is it lets you use the back of your phone as with these different gestures, and I think it's an interesting concept. So for example, I could have one of these accessibility shortcut, which I already have, action button, app switcher. So it's kind of interesting. There are so many options you can do with this. It's interesting. I've never used it consistently. I've played with it, but I haven't really done much with it. Again, the cat is making a reappearance. So that was all in just touch ID and attention. Now this is an important one for me as a blind person, and we're going to talk about these. Require attention for Face ID. This is a big one for me. I can't do this because with my nystagmus, or my eye bobbling, I cannot keep my eyes focused, and I don't even know exactly where the camera, I know where it is, but I can't look at it with my eyes. So I cannot do that, which is kind of annoying. Attention aware features, it would be more secure for me if I could do it, but I can't do it. So haptic unsuccessful authentication, I have that on just so I can feel if it's a loud environment when my phone is unlocked, so that's kind of nice. Next, switch control. I don't have any of this enabled, but switch control lets you use several different switches that you can connect to your phone that could do different things. So that's interesting. It's a feature I haven't used much, but let's say you had, I don't know, a motor disability and you wanted to be able to go home by always hitting the blue button on your wheelchair. You could do that, so that's pretty cool. Again, we're getting into things I don't use. Voice control, I don't use at all. I used to on the very, very old iPhones. But you can use your voice to control various aspects of your phone, which is interesting. Eye tracking, off. Absolutely off. Never on, ever. I hope they never make this a requirement because I can't do it. You can use your eyes to control your darn phone if you darn well please, but if I did that, my phone would break. I would probably destroy my iPhone because I can't do it. Side button. So this is an important one for those who are have motor disabilities, but you can also kind of decide what functions your side button is going to control in terms of accessibility. So there's that. Camera control, there's so many options for different things. We'll kind of skip some of these. Control nearby devices, again, is something I don't necessarily use. You can connect your own hearing devices. You can have controls for things like sound recognition. So if someone rings the doorbell, you could have like the flashlight on your phone turn on and it would vibrate to let you know, like, hey, your phone is hearing the doorbell. You might want to go check on that. Again, these are things I don't even know what, whatever this, I'm going to do zoom RTTTY. I would assume that's like real-time translating, maybe phone things. I'm not sure. Audio visual settings. So again, these are all things I have not the faintest subtitles and captioning. I can't read, so I don't use those. Live captions I have no need for. Music haptics is an interesting concept. I don't know how helpful or useful that is, but it's an interesting thing. Live speech, personal voice, and vocal shortcuts are things I would like to mess with at some point. You can actually use this to make your own custom voice using your own voice, which is interesting. I don't have keyboards and mice or Apple TV remotes to connect, so accessories is not something I use. And when you go to general, here at the bottom, guided access is amazing. I'm definitely going to use this if and when I have a kid. Guided access essentially lets you go into an app, put in your passcode, and then your kid can't go out of the app or mess with anything. So just in terms of how to parent with an iPhone, that's something I'm definitely interested in doing down the road. Assistive access. So this is interesting because I think what it does, I'm going to turn voiceover on for just a moment. See if
VoiceOver
I'm
on.
thinking.
Set up assistive access. Assistive access provides a distinctive iOS experience for iPhone. Apps have been redesigned to be larger and contain core features that can be easily customized. Learn more about assistive access. Link. After setting up assistive access, you can make changes at any time in settings.
Yeah, so it looks like this is
VoiceOver
something
on.
that you could do if you were setting up a phone for someone who may not be neurotypical. You could set up a phone that has apps and features catered specifically to that person and their needs, their daily routine. So that's really cool. It's not something I use. Siri, I do use occasionally. And accessibility shortcut is a big one. So my current accessibility shortcut is using, like I said, the power button to click 3 times, and there's so many functions across Apple's accessibility suite that can be activated using the shortcut. So that's pretty awesome. And then per app settings, you can go into any apps that you may have that have specific needs, and you can set those up. So I know in the future there's going to be, in I believe iOS 19, quote-unquote accessibility nutrition labels, which is kind of talking about what features are supported within apps across Apple's App Store. So that's really cool. Once you set these features up, I find that they're pretty nonchalant in that I use them, quite frequently throughout my day-to-day routine. But I also find that these are things that most people don't know about, because the accessibility section of your settings is something that most people may not even, go into. They might not have the need to. So I hope this clears things up, or kind of, gives you some insight as to how I use a phone. And I'm happy to show more real-world examples of things like typing and dictation. There's a lot of other features that I use that I haven't highlighted because they're not right here in these menus, but hope this was helpful. Again, I'm getting over a cold, so apologize about the crazy voice, but let me know what you think, and if you have any specific questions, comments, queries, theories, concerns, or anything else, please don't hesitate to let me know, and we'll see you soon. All right. Peace.